Captain Jake Morrison sat in his command chair, watching the stars drift past on the main screen. The UFS Frontier had been patrolling this sector for 3 weeks now, and nothing interesting had happened. His crew was getting restless. Some of them were playing card games during their off hours, while others spent time in the gym or reading books from Earth. "Captain," called Amy Rodriguez from her communications station. Her voice was sharp with surprise. "I'm picking up a distress signal. It's not human." Jake straightened up immediately. In all his years of space travel, humanity had never encountered another intelligent species. There had been theories and hopes, but no proof until now. "Put it through the speakers," Jake ordered. Static filled the bridge, followed by sounds that definitely did not come from human throats. The alien voices were high-pitched and musical, but there was clear panic in their tone. "Can you make sense of it?" Jake asked. Amy worked at her station, her fingers dancing over the controls. "Give me a few minutes, sir. The computer is trying to find patterns in their language." Commander Lisa Park stepped up beside Jake's chair. She was his second in command and had been with him for 5 years. "Should we alert Earth Command?" "Not yet," Jake said. "Let's see what we're dealing with first." Dr. Ryan Cole emerged from the elevator that led to the medical bay. He had heard the commotion and came to investigate. "Did I hear correctly? Are those alien voices?" "Looks like it, Doc," Jake replied. "Amy, any progress?" "Yes, sir." The computer found some basic mathematical patterns. "I think I can establish simple communication." Amy adjusted her headset and began speaking slowly into her microphone. "This is the human vessel Frontier. We received your distress call. Can you understand us?" The alien chatter stopped suddenly, and a new voice came through, speaking broken but understandable English. "Humans? You are the Deathworld dwellers? Please, we need help, but we are afraid." The bridge fell silent. Jake exchanged glances with Lisa and Ryan. "Deathworld dwellers? What did that mean?" "We are humans from Earth," Amy continued. "We want to help you. What is your emergency?" "Our ship is badly damaged. We are Velari people. The Kethmer hunt us. They want to make us slaves or kill us all. We run for many days, but our engines fail soon." Jake stood up and walked to Amy's station. "Ask them how many are on their ship and what kind of help they need." Amy repeated the questions. The alien voice, which sounded female, responded quickly. "We are 47 Velari on this ship, mostly families with children. Our life support fails in maybe 6 hours. Our engines cannot take us further. We heard stories about humans. They say you are warriors from a deadly world, but also that you sometimes show mercy to weak ones." Dr. Cole stepped forward. "Captain, if they have children and failing life support, we need to act fast." "I know, Doc." Jake turned to his tactical officer. "Nick, do you see their ship on sensors?" Lieutenant Nick Palmer looked up from his station. "Yes, sir. Small vessel, about half our size. I'm reading significant damage to their hull and engine systems. Their life support is definitely struggling. Amy, tell them we're coming to help. Ask if it's safe for us to approach their ship." As Amy translated, Jake felt the weight of the moment. This was humanity's first contact with an alien species, and it was happening during a crisis. These Velari were clearly refugees running from something called the Kethmer. The alien voice came back, filled with what sounded like relief and fear, mixed together. "You will help us, even though we cannot fight? Even though we are not strong like humans? We have heard the stories about your people. They say humans come from a world so dangerous that it makes you into perfect warriors. They say you eat poison for pleasure, and your bodies heal from wounds that would kill others." Lisa raised an eyebrow. "Poison for pleasure? Are they talking about coffee?" "Probably alcohol, too." Ryan added with a slight smile. Jake motioned for quiet. Amy, tell them we'll help anyone who needs it. That's what humans do. Ask them about these Kethmer who are chasing them. After Amy's translation, the Velari voice became sadder and more fearful. Kethmer are empire builders. They take worlds and make slaves of peaceful people. If people resist, they kill everyone. We Velari are healers and farmers. We cannot fight them. Many of our worlds are already taken. This ship carries refugees from 3 different planets. How far behind are the Kethmer? Jake asked. We think. Maybe one day, perhaps less. Their ships are faster than ours, but they stopped to raid another world. That gave us time to escape. Jake looked around at his crew. He could see the determination in their faces. Nobody suggested leaving these aliens to their fate. Amy, tell them we're moving to assist right now. We'll get their people aboard our ship and make sure they're safe. Captain, Lisa said quietly, if these Kethmer are as dangerous as they say, we might be getting into more than we can handle. Maybe, Jake replied. But we can't leave kids to die in space. Nick set course for their ship. Best speed. Yes, sir. As the Frontier changed direction and accelerated toward the alien vessel, Amy continued talking with the Velari. She learned that their spokesperson was named Quilven and that she was some kind of leader among the refugees. Captain Morrison. Amy said, Quilven wants to know if we're sure about this. She says that helping them might bring the Kethmer's anger down on us. Jake thought for a moment. Humanity had been alone in space for so long, exploring and building colonies, but never finding other intelligent life. Now their first contact was with refugees who needed protection from an aggressive empire. Tell her that humans don't abandon people in trouble, Jake said firmly. We'll figure out the rest as we go. As the alien ship grew larger on their screen, Jake couldn't help but wonder what humanity was about to get itself into. But looking at his crew's faces, he knew they would face whatever came next together. The Frontier moved closer to its destiny, carrying the hopes and fears of 2 very different species toward an uncertain future. The Frontier's docking bay had never been so crowded. 47 Velari refugees stood huddled together, their large purple eyes darting nervously around the human ship. They were tall and thin, with pale blue skin and delicate features that reminded Dr. Ryan Cole of gentle deer. Their hands had 4 long fingers, and they moved with careful, graceful steps. Captain Jake Morrison watched as his crew tried to make the aliens comfortable. The Velari seemed terrified of everything, jumping at sudden noises and backing away whenever a human came too close. Dr. Cole, Jake called out, how are they doing medically? Ryan looked up from his scanner. Their vital signs show extreme stress, but no immediate health dangers. However, Captain, there's something strange. My medical scanner is reading toxin warnings whenever it scans near our crew members. Toxin warnings? An elderly Velari with silver markings on her forehead stepped forward hesitantly. Through Amy Rodriguez's translation device, her voice came through as soft and melodic. Forgive us, Captain Morrison. I am Elder Quilven. Our healer Zenthara says your people carry many dangerous substances in your bodies. The smell from your breath contains chemicals that would kill most Velari. Jake looked confused. What chemicals? A younger Velari with intricate blue patterns on her arms approached nervously. I am Zenthara, healer for our people. Your doctor's body shows traces of caffeine, alcohol, and capsaicin. These are deadly poisons to us. How do you survive with such toxins in your system? Dr. Cole laughed, then quickly stopped when he saw the aliens flinch at the sound. I had coffee this morning and spicy food last night. To us, these aren't poisons. The Velari exchanged worried glances. Elder Quilven spoke again. The stories about Deathworld dwellers are true. You consume. Poison for pleasure can survive. Not poison, Amy explained gently. Just things that taste good to us. Coffee helps us stay awake, and spicy food makes eating more enjoyable. Engineer Kyle Watson approached with his tool bag. Captain, I'd like to take a team over to their ship and see if we can fix their engines. Maybe we can get them mobile again. Good idea. Take Beth Turner with you? As Kyle and technician Beth Turner prepared to leave, they noticed the Velari watching them with amazement. Kyle was carrying a heavy bag of tools that weighed almost 50 pounds, but he handled it easily. Beth was wearing work gloves and had several metal tools hanging from her belt. Elder Quilvin, Amy said, our engineers want to help repair your ship. Is that acceptable? The elderly Velari looked shocked. Your people would touch our technology? Work with metal and electricity? On our world, only special individuals can handle such dangerous tasks, and they must be protected with many safety measures. Kyle and Beth are good at fixing things, Jake explained. They work with dangerous equipment every day. It's normal for humans. Zenthara whispered something to Elder Quilvin in their own language. Then she spoke through the translator. Dr. Cole, may I ask why your people are doing physical training? I saw several humans in a room lifting heavy metal objects and running on machines. Are they being punished? Dr. Cole smiled carefully. No, they're exercising. We do it to stay healthy and strong. You voluntarily stress your bodies? You cause yourselves pain for health? Exercise makes us stronger and helps us live longer. The Velari looked at each other in disbelief. One of the younger aliens spoke up, and the one with brown hair was bleeding from small cuts on his hands, but he continued working. Do humans not feel pain? That's probably Sam from maintenance, Jake said. He was fixing some sharp metal panels earlier. Small cuts don't usually stop us from working. Xanthara's eyes grew wide. A wound that draws blood would require immediate medical attention for Velari. We would become unconscious from the trauma. As Kyle and Beth prepared to cross to the Velari ship, Elder Quilvin pulled Jake aside. Captain Morrison, I must explain about the Kethmer, so you understand the danger we have brought to you. Jake nodded. Tell me. The Kethmer Empire has conquered 12 star systems in the past 50 years. They are warriors from a world with weak gravity, so they are very fast and agile. But they are also cruel. They believe that only the strong deserve to live, and they use weaker species as slaves or food. Food? Jake's expression darkened. Yes. They do not understand concepts like mercy or protection of the weak. When they discover that you have helped us, they will mark humans as enemies. They will study you and then decide whether to avoid you or destroy you. Amy had been listening to the conversation. Elder Quilvin, how did you learn to speak our language so quickly? Velari are natural linguists. We learn languages easily, because we were once traders between many worlds. Before the Kethmer came, we helped different species communicate with each other. Dr. Cole approached with Zenthara following behind him. Captain, I've been learning about Velari medicine. Their healing methods are incredibly advanced. They can regrow damaged organs and repair genetic defects that we consider incurable. And I have learned about human medicine, Zenthara added. Your people perform surgery while the patient is awake. You cut into bodies and repair them with metal and plastic parts. You inject weakened diseases into healthy people to prevent illness. Such courage is beyond our understanding. Kyle's voice came over the communication system from the Velari ship. Captain, you need to see this technology. Their engines run on principles I've never seen before. No harmful radiation, no pollution, and incredibly efficient. But the materials are so delicate that a small impact damaged everything. Can you fix it? Jake asked. I think so, but it'll take some creative human engineering. These systems are amazing, but they're built for a perfect environment. One rough landing would destroy them. Beth's voice joined the conversation. Sir, I think I can reinforce their technology with some of our materials. Make it more durable, without losing the efficiency. Elder Quilvin looked at Jake with something approaching wonder. Your people share knowledge freely, even with strangers? Why wouldn't we? Most species guard their technology carefully. They fear others will use it against them. We believe knowledge should be shared, Jake explained. It makes everyone stronger. Zenthara touched Dr. Cole's arm gently with one finger. Doctor, may I ask why your people decided to help us? You knew nothing about us. We could have been dangerous. Ryan considered the question carefully. Because you asked for help. Because you had children who were afraid. Because it was the right thing to do. Even though helping us might bring the Kethmer's anger down on your people? Especially because of that, Jake interjected. Humans don't like bullies. Elder Quilvin looked around at the human crew members going about their work. Some were bringing food and water to the Velari refugees. Others were setting up temporary sleeping areas. Everyone seemed focused on helping the aliens feel safe and comfortable. We came seeking asylum from Deathworld warriors, she said softly. But perhaps we have found something else. Perhaps we have found protectors. As the day continued, both species learned more about each other. The humans discovered that Velari art, music, and philosophy were incredibly beautiful and complex. The Velari learned that human strength came not just from their dangerous world, but from their willingness to help others despite personal risk. But deep in space, 3 Kethmer warships were following the trail left by the Velari refugee ship, getting closer with each passing hour. Lieutenant Nick Palmer's voice cut through the peaceful atmosphere on the bridge like a knife. Captain, we have 3 large ships dropping out of hyperspace. They're not human design. Captain Jake Morrison was in the middle of reviewing repair. Progress with Kyle Watson when the alarm sounded. He rushed to the bridge with Dr. Ryan Cole and Commander Lisa Park close behind him. Show me, Jake ordered. The main screen filled with the image of 3 dark, angular ships that looked like giant metal spears. They were twice the size of the Frontier and covered in weapon ports. Their hulls were black with red markings that seemed to glow in the starlight. Those are Kethmer warships, Amy Rodriguez said, her voice tight with worry. She had been talking with Elder Quilvin when the ships arrived. The Velari are terrified. Some of them are crying. In the docking bay, the Velari refugees had gathered together in a tight group. Several of the children were making soft, frightened sounds. Elder Quilvin and Zenthara were trying to comfort their people, but their own fear was obvious. Incoming. Transmission, Amy announced. They're demanding to speak with our captain. Put them through, Jake said. The screen changed to show a reptilian face with yellow eyes and sharp teeth. The creature's skin was dark green with black stripes, and its head was elongated like a crocodile's. When it spoke, its voice was harsh and full of menace. Human vessel, I am Commander Vextel of the Kethmer Empire. You have stolen property that belongs to us. Return the Velari slaves immediately, and we will consider not destroying your ship. Jake felt anger rising in his chest, but he kept his voice calm. I'm Captain Morrison. The Velari are not property. They're refugees seeking protection, and we've granted them asylum. Vextel's yellow eyes narrowed. Asylum? What is this word? The Velari are livestock. They exist to serve their betters. You will return them now. No, Jake said simply. The Kethmar commander seemed shocked by the direct refusal. You dare refuse the Kethmar Empire? Your single ship against 3 of our warships? Are humans stupid as well as weak? Lisa stepped closer to Jake. Captain, our weapons are no match for 3 ships that size. I know, Jake whispered back. Then he spoke louder. Commander Vextel, The Valari are under human protection now. We will not surrender them to slavery. Protection? Vexthul laughed, a sound like grinding metal. The weak do not deserve protection. They deserve to serve or die. This is the natural order. Dr. Cole moved to Jake's other side. Captain, I need to check on the Valari. This conversation is making them panic. Go ahead, Doc. As Ryan left the bridge, Vexthul continued his threats. Human Captain, you do not understand what you face. The Kethmer Empire spans many star systems. We have destroyed entire species that opposed us. Your people are unknown to us, but that will not save you. Maybe not, Jake replied. But we won't hand over innocent refugees to be enslaved. Innocent? Vexthul's voice rose with what sounded like genuine confusion. The Valari are prey animals. They have no weapons, no armies, no strength. They exist only to be used by superior beings. How can prey be innocent or guilty? Nick Palmer looked up from his tactical station. Captain, 2 of their ships are moving to flank us. The 3rd is staying in position to block any escape route. Acknowledged. Jake kept his eyes on the Kethmer commander. Vexthul, you speak of superior beings, but what makes you superior? Your weapons? Your willingness to hurt the defenseless? Strength makes us superior. Power makes us superior. The ability to take what we want makes us superior. The Valari cannot stop us, so they belong to us. This is how the universe works. Not in human space. Weapons specialist Megan Torres spoke quietly from her station. Captain, their weapons are charging. Energy signatures are building. Jake nodded. All crew, this is the captain. Prepare for possible combat. Non-essential personnel to emergency stations. Throughout the ship, humans began moving quickly to their assigned positions. In the docking bay, several crew members stayed with the Valari refugees to keep them calm. Kyle Watson and Beth Turner were still working on the alien ship, but now they were also preparing defensive measures. Vexthul's image leaned forward on the screen. You prepared to fight? Good. The Kethmer respect strength, even when it is foolish strength. I will give you one final chance, human captain. Surrender the Valari, and we will make your deaths quick. And if we refuse, then we will take the Valari from the wreckage of your ship, and your deaths will be slow and painful. Jake looked around at his bridge crew. Every one of them looked back with determination. They all knew they were outgunned, but none of them suggested surrendering. The refugees. Commander Vexthul, Jake said clearly, humans have a saying. We don't negotiate with bullies. The Kethmer commander's face twisted with rage. Bullies? We are conquerors. We are the strong taking from the weak. This is natural law. Maybe where you come from. But humans believe the strong should protect the weak, not prey on them. Protect the weak? Vexthul sounded like the concept was physically painful to him. Why would any rational being waste strength protecting those who cannot defend themselves? Because it's the right thing to do. Right? Wrong? These are meaningless words. There is only strong and weak, predator and prey, master and slave. Amy Rodriguez had been recording the entire conversation. Captain, I'm transmitting everything to Earth Command. If we don't survive this, at least they'll know what happened. Dr. Cole's voice came over the intercom. Captain, the Valari want to surrender themselves to save us. Elder Quilvin says they won't let humans die for them. Tell them absolutely not, Jake replied firmly. We made a promise to protect them. Vexthul had been listening to the exchange. How amusing. The prey wants to sacrifice itself to save the predator, but it does not matter. We will take the Valari and destroy your ship anyway. You have defied the Kethmer Empire, and that cannot go unpunished. The Kethmer ships moved closer, their weapons now fully charged and aimed at the frontier. Jake could feel the tension on the bridge rising. His crew was ready to fight, but everyone knew the odds were terrible. "Megan, what's our tactical situation?" Jake asked. "Not good, sir. Their ships have heavier armor and more weapons than us. But our targeting systems are more advanced, and our weapons have better accuracy." "Kyle, how is the Valari ship?" Kyle's voice came through the communicator. "Engines are working, but barely. Their ship could move, but not fast enough to escape those warships." Nick Palmer suddenly spoke up. "Captain, I'm detecting additional ships on long-range sensors. Human signatures, but still several hours away. Too far to help us now," Lisa said quietly. Jake made his decision. "Vexthal, this is your last warning. Leave this system immediately, or face the consequences." The Kethmer commander threw back his head and made that grinding laugh again. "Consequences? From one small human ship? You amuse me, Captain, but my amusement is ended. Prepare to be destroyed." The transmission cut off, and the 3 Kethmer warships began their final approach. On the frontier, humans prepared to fight against impossible odds to protect a group of alien refugees they had known for less than 2 days. In the docking bay, Elder Quilvin watched the human crew members checking their weapons and preparing defensive positions. She turned to Zenthara and spoke in their own language. "What do you think?" Zenthara asked. "I think we are about to learn what Deathworld warriors are truly capable of." The first Kethmer energy blast hit the frontier's shields without warning. The ship shook violently, throwing several crew members against the walls. Emergency lights began flashing red throughout the vessel. "Return fire," Captain Jake Morrison shouted as he pulled himself back into his command chair. "Weapons specialist." Megan Torres's fingers danced across her control panel, firing main batteries. The Frontier's weapons lanced out at the closest Kethmer ship. The human weapons were smaller than the alien ones, but they hit exactly where Megan aimed them. The Kethmer ship's shields flickered and sparked. "Direct hit on their weapon systems," Nick Palmer reported. "Their forward guns are damaged." Commander Vexthal's angry voice filled the bridge. "Impossible. How did such weak weapons penetrate?" "Our shields?" "Because we know how to aim," Jake replied grimly. The battle quickly became chaotic. The 3 Kethmer ships had expected to destroy the single human vessel in minutes, but the Frontier proved much harder to kill than they anticipated. Every time the alien ships fired, Captain Morrison and his crew seemed to know exactly where to move to minimize damage. "Lisa, take us between those 2 ships," Jake ordered. "Make them worry about hitting each other." Commander Lisa Park's hands flew over the navigation controls. The Frontier dove and rolled like a fighter plane, using its smaller size to stay out of the worst enemy fire. The Kethmer ships were fast, but they had been designed for straight-line attacks against helpless targets, not for this kind of close combat maneuvering. In the docking bay, Sergeant Dana Walsh and her security team had set up defensive positions around the Valari refugees. The aliens were huddled together, some crying softly, but they watched in amazement as the humans worked calmly under fire. Sergeant Walsh, one of the younger Valari, asked through Amy's translation system, "Why are your people not afraid?" "Your ship is being attacked by much larger enemies." Dana checked her rifle and smiled. "We are afraid. But fear doesn't stop us from doing our job. You can function while afraid? Fear keeps us alert, helps us think faster and fight harder." "Elder." Quilvin stared at the human soldiers. Even under attack, they moved with confidence and purpose. When the ship shook from enemy fire, they adjusted their positions quickly and continued their work. On the bridge, the situation was getting worse. The Frontier's shields were failing, and 2 of the Kethmer ships were moving to bracket them in a crossfire. "Captain!" Nick Palmer shouted. The middle enemy ship is trying to ram us. I see it. Megan, target their engines. The Frontier's weapons struck the attacking ship's rear section, causing explosions along its hull. But the ship didn't stop. It was still coming straight at them. All hands, brace for collision. Jake announced that the Kethmer ship slammed into the Frontier's side. Metal screamed against metal, and several hull sections buckled. Worse, the collision tore a hole in both ships, connecting them. Hull breach on Deck 7, Gamey reported. Emergency force fields are holding, but barely. Through the torn metal, Kethmer warriors began pouring into the human ship. They were tall, reptilian creatures with powerful legs built for jumping. In their low-gravity homeworld, they could leap incredible distances and move with lightning speed. Repel boarders. Jake commanded all security teams to Deck 7. Lieutenant Alex Chun grabbed his sidearm and a handful of Marines. They ran through the corridors toward the breach, meeting panicked crew members running the other way. How many? Alex asked one of the fleeing engineers. At least 20 of those lizard things. They're fast, sir. Faster than anything I've ever seen. Alex and his team reached Deck 7 to find chaos. The Kethmer warriors were indeed incredibly fast, leaping from wall to wall and attacking with curved blades and energy weapons. They moved like deadly dancers, almost too quick for human eyes to follow. But the humans had advantages the Kethmer didn't expect. When the first alien warrior leaped at Alex, the lieutenant didn't try to match its speed. Instead, he predicted where it would land and fired 3 shots into that space. The Kethmer warrior ran straight into the bullets. Don't chase them, Alex shouted to his team. Let them come to you, then hit them where they're going to be. The other Marines quickly learned the tactic. The Kethmer were fast and agile, but they followed predictable attack patterns. Humans, raised on a world where everything tried to kill them, were experts at reading predator behavior. Private Martinez took a deep slash across his arm from a Kethmer blade, but instead of falling back, he grabbed the alien's weapon hand and held on. The Kethmer tried to pull away, but Martinez was much stronger than expected. Now, Martinez yelled. Corporal Johnson put 3 rounds into the trapped alien. Blood was running down Martinez's arm, but he was still fighting. The Kethmer warriors began to realize something was wrong. These humans should have been easy prey. They were slower and less agile than Kethmer, but they seemed impossible to kill. Wounds that should have stopped them only made them fight harder. On the bridge, Dr. Ryan Cole was treating injured crew members without stopping his other duties. Captain, I've got burns, cuts, and broken bones, but everyone's still at their stations. Jake watched his tactical display. The boarding party was being pushed back, but slowly. How long until those reinforcements arrive? 2 hours, sir. Nick replied, maybe less if they push their engines hard. The ship shook again as the 2 remaining Kethmer vessels continued their attack. The Frontier's weapons were still firing back, scoring hit after hit on the enemy ships. But the human vessel was taking severe damage. In the boarding action, Alex Chun made a desperate decision. Follow me, he shouted to his remaining Marines. We're going through the breach onto their ship. Sir? Corporal Johnson looked at him like he was crazy. If we can damage their ship from the inside, maybe we can even the odds. Alex led his team through the twisted metal of the hull breach and onto the Kethmer vessel. The alien ship was dark and hot, with a thick, humid atmosphere that smelled like a swamp. The Kethmer hadn't expected humans to board their ship. Alex and his team fought their way toward what looked like the enemy vessel's engine room, using their knowledge of ship design to guess where the most critical systems would be. Back on the Frontier, Sergeant Walsh received a report that made her smile grimly. Captain, Lieutenant Chan's team has reached the enemy engine room. They're setting charges. Outstanding. Tell them to get back here as soon as possible. The explosion that followed lit up space like a small star. The Kethmer ship that had rammed them lost power and began drifting. Alex and his team barely made it back through the breach before their escape route was sealed by emergency systems. Commander Vexthil's voice came over the communication system, filled with disbelief and rage. What are you? How do you fight? While wounded? How do you board our ships? How do you function under conditions that should kill you? We're human, Jake replied simply. We come from a world that spent millions of years trying to kill us. We learned to be tough. This is impossible. The weak cannot defeat the strong. Maybe you need to redefine what makes someone strong. The remaining 2 Kethmer ships were retreating now, their confidence shattered. They had expected to face helpless prey, but instead found warriors who seemed to thrive on adversity. In the docking bay, Elder Quilvin and the other Villari watched human medical teams treating the wounded. Crew members with serious injuries were joking with their doctors. Others with bandaged arms and legs were already returning to their duties. How? Zenthara whispered to Dr. Cole. How do they continue fighting while hurt? Pain tells us we're alive, Ryan replied as he stitched up a cut on Alex Chun's forehead. And being alive means we can still protect what matters. The young Villari healer stared at the humans in wonder. On her world, even a small injury would require rest and isolation. But these humans seemed to use their pain as fuel for their determination. As the Kethmer ships disappeared into hyperspace, Jake received a message from the approaching human fleet. This is Admiral Chris Thompson aboard the UFS Intrepid. Captain Morrison, we received your transmission. Are you all right? We're still here, Admiral. The Kethmer have retreated, but I don't think they're gone for good. Understood. We'll be there in 90 minutes. Prepare a full report on first contact procedures and this Kethmer Empire. Jake looked around at his battered but victorious crew, then at the Villari refugees who were staring at the humans with a mixture of awe and gratitude. The real war, he realized, was just beginning. Admiral Chris Thompson's fleet arrived like a wall of metal and light. 12 human ships dropped out of hyperspace around the damaged frontier, their weapons ready and shields up. Captain Jake Morrison had never been so happy to see reinforcements. In his life, the Admiral himself came aboard the Frontier 2 hours later. He was a tall man with gray hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. As he walked through the ship, he saw the battle damage, the wounded crew members still working at their posts, and the 47 Villari refugees in the docking bay. Captain Morrison, Admiral Thompson said as they met in Jake's ready room. I've read your initial report. First contact with an alien species, refugees seeking asylum, and immediate combat with something called the Kethmer Empire. Is that accurate? Yes, sir. The Villari are peaceful people fleeing slavery. The Kethmer are aggressive empire builders who see other species as property. And you decided to protect the refugees even though it meant fighting 3 enemy warships. Jake straightened in his chair. It was the right thing to do, sir. Admiral Thompson smiled. I agree completely. But, Captain, I need you to understand what this means. According to the Villari, this Kethmer Empire spans multiple star systems and has been expanding for decades. We're not dealing with a small problem. I know, sir. Commander Vexthil made it clear that they'll be back with more ships. Before the Admiral could respond, Amy Rodriguez's voice came over the intercom. Captain, Elder Quilvin requests a meeting with you and the Admiral. She says it's important. Minutes later, the 3 humans sat with Elder Quilvin and Zenthara in the ship's main conference room. The elderly Villari leader looked much calmer now, but her large purple eyes still showed worry. Admiral Thompson, she began through the translation device. Captain Morrison and his crew have saved our lives. We owe humans a debt that can never be repaid. You don't owe us anything, Jake said. We helped because it was right. Nevertheless, we wish to offer something in return. Velari technology, our knowledge of the galaxy, and our connections with other peaceful species who are also threatened by the Kethmer. Dr. Ryan Cole entered the room carrying a datapad. Admiral, I've been working with Zenthara on combining our medical knowledge. The results are incredible. Explain, Admiral Thompson said. Velari healing technology can regrow organs and repair genetic damage. Combined with human surgical techniques and our resistance to trauma, we could revolutionize medicine for both species. Zenthara spoke up. And human medical practices can help my people become stronger. Your concepts of physical fitness and pain tolerance could extend Velari lifespans significantly. Engineer Kyle Watson appeared at the conference room door. Sorry to interrupt, but Admiral, you need to see what we've accomplished with their ship. The group moved to the docking bay where the Velari vessel sat. Kyle and Beth Turner had been working on it for hours, and the changes were remarkable. We've reinforced their engine systems with human materials, Kyle explained. The efficiency is still incredible, but now it can handle rough conditions. No more breaking down from small impacts. Beth pointed to various modifications. And we've added human backup systems. If their delicate technology fails, our robust systems take over automatically. Elder Quilvin looked amazed. You have made our ship stronger without losing what made it special? That's the idea, Kyle said. Human engineering philosophy is about making things that work under any conditions. Admiral Thompson was studying the technical readouts. This is impressive work. Captain Morrison, I think we're looking at the beginning of something much larger than a simple rescue mission. Amy Rodriguez approached the group with a worried expression. Admiral, we're receiving multiple distress calls from different sectors. Other alien species are requesting human assistance. Word is spreading that humans helped Velari against the Kethmer. How many? Admiral Thompson asked. 7 different species so far, sir. All of them claim to be refugees from Kethmer expansion. Elder Quilvin nodded sadly. The Kethmer Empire has many enemies, Admiral. Most are species like us, who cannot fight back effectively. They have been waiting for someone strong enough to stand against the Kethmer. And they think humans are strong enough? Admiral, Zenthara said quietly, we have seen your people fight while wounded. We have seen them board enemy ships during battle. We have seen them refuse to surrender innocent lives even when outnumbered. If humans are not strong enough, then no one is. Dr. Cole looked up from his medical scanner. Sir, there's something else. The Velari have contacted other friendly species in this region. They're sharing information about human capabilities and human values. We're becoming famous. Famous how? As protectors. As people who defend the weak instead of preying on them. Admiral Thompson walked to the window and looked out at the stars. Captain Morrison, when you helped these refugees, did you consider that you might be starting an interstellar war? Honestly, sir? No. I just saw people in trouble who needed help. Good answer. The Admiral turned back to the group. Because I'm about to make a decision that will definitely start an interstellar war. He activated his communication device. All ships, this is Admiral Thompson. I'm declaring this system under human protection. Any Kethmer vessels that enter this space will be considered hostile and dealt with accordingly. Elder Quilvin C. Eyes widened. Admiral, the Kethmer will see this as a declaration of war. Good, because that's exactly what it is. The Admiral's voice carried throughout the fleet. For too long, peaceful species have suffered under the Kethmer Empire's expansion. Humanity will not stand by while innocent people are enslaved or murdered. We're drawing a line here and now. Captain Morrison felt a chill of excitement and fear. Sir, Earth Command will need to approve this decision. Earth Command already has. I've been authorized to take whatever action I deem necessary to protect human interests and allied species. Admiral Thompson smiled grimly. It seems our government agrees that protecting refugees is a human interest. Over the next several hours, 3 more alien ships arrived seeking asylum. Each brought stories of Kethmer brutality and reports of other species desperately hoping for human intervention. Kyle and Beth found themselves leading mixed teams of human engineers and alien technicians, combining technologies in ways no one had imagined before. Dr. Cole worked with healers from 4 different species, sharing knowledge that would benefit everyone. Lieutenant Alex Chun, still bandaged from the boarding action, was training alien security personnel in human combat tactics. The aliens were amazed by human concepts of fighting while injured and using pain as motivation. As evening came, Jake found himself back in the conference room with Elder Quilvin and Admiral Thompson. The Velari leader was preparing to address her people, who had been watching the day's events with growing hope. Captain Morrison, Elder Quilvin said softly, when we first met, I told you that Velari had heard stories about humans. We knew you were called Deathworld dwellers, and that you were feared as warriors. What did you think when you first saw us? Jake asked. I was terrified. I expected savage killers who might help us but would probably hurt us. She paused, her large eyes reflecting the room's lights. But I was wrong about what makes humans dangerous. What do you mean? Your weapons are not the most dangerous thing about humans. Your strength is not the most dangerous thing. Your ability to fight while wounded is not the most dangerous thing. Admiral Thompson leaned forward. Then what is? Elder Quilvin stood and looked out at the mixed crews of humans and aliens working together in the docking bay. The most dangerous thing about humans is that you remember what it means to be gentle with those who cannot defend themselves. You have all the power of a Deathworld species, but you use it to protect instead of to conquer. She turned back to them with something that might have been a smile on her alien features. We came seeking asylum from Deathworld warriors, Captain Morrison, but we found something the galaxy needs much more. We found protectors who are strong enough to fight monsters and gentle enough to comfort children. As if summoned by her words, the sound of human laughter mixed with alien voices drifted up from the docking bay where Kyle was teaching Young Velari how human tools worked well. Beth showed them pictures of Earth's animals. The war with the Kethmer Empire was just beginning, but humanity had already won something more important. They had found their place in the galaxy not as conquerors, but as guardians of those who needed protection. And across known space, the word was spreading. If you were peaceful and in danger, look for the humans. They would stand between you and any threat, no matter how powerful, because that's what humans do.